Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode. I'm Sifu Tommy and with me I have Marco from South Africa. He's going to be my partner today. In last week's video we spoke about how to get out of a grip when somebody grabs your arms and you free yourself from that and finish off the scenario. However, what I did not tell you was that what we did here was merely a choreography, but it didn't really entail the ingenious Wing Chun principles. Now today we're going to deal with the same kind of attack, but we're going to apply the Wing Chun principles. What do I really mean by that? What we did before was he grabbed my arms, I used the technique, I used the turn, got out of it, and then I applied a strike to his throat, for example. Wing Chun deals with very significant principles and concepts, and the most famous one is Loi Lau Hoi Song La Cao Jik Jung. The Europeanized version of that would be if the way is clear, go forward, which means if somebody stands there like this, I would not walk around him in order to hit him to the back of the head, but I would just go straight to the throat. The second principle, the second concept would be if you encounter resistance, stick. So in other words, I tried to punch his throat, but he brings his arms up and I cannot finish my strike. Now, if I would drop my arm now, then obviously this would create a gap that would make it possible for him to hit me. Then the third principle would be that if the opponent's force is too great, I yield. So I try to punch him, he blocks the arm, and all of a sudden he starts an attack. And then when you punch or push with this one, with the same arm for now, I yield, I give way. So I borrow his force. And then finally, the fourth concept would be when the opponent retreats, follow him. So if you should bring your arm back, then it would be my chance to just follow you and go in with it. So much for the theory. Now let's see how we can apply this in an application. Here's what today's techniques look like. When talking about somebody grabbing your arms and really feeling the opponent's force, then this normally requires that you start a punch first. What I mean by that is, if my arms are under pressure and he grabs my wrist, then I can feel his force very, very strongly. However, when I'm extremely relaxed, let go of my arms please. When I'm extremely relaxed and he starts pushing, then there's a split second before his hands actually close around my wrist where I can do something before I can feel the strength that he has. In other words, what I want you to do first is to bring your arms up in a very, very relaxed fashion. And the first concept of is the way clear, go forward does not apply here at the moment because we are solely thinking about being defensive in this moment. It's an ambush attack. All of a sudden the guy grabs me. I did not expect that to happen, and then I have to get out of it, right? So if I would punch him and he grabs me, then it's going to be very, very intense. The grip is going to be very intense. I can feel his force very intensely. Whereas when I just stand here and I'm relaxed and he pushes, it's easier for me to actually fold the arm and then do something against it. And that's what it's all about. Now, the first thing that happens if I should be the attacker is that the guy grabs you from here because he wants to push you into a certain direction, either here or here. Now, the second thing that happens is that his fingers actually grab around the wrist. And with this exercise that we're doing today, I want you to practice reacting before those fingers tightly grab around your wrist. In other words, when you practice it now, please do it in 2 stages. Stage number 1, the attacker gets in contact with your arms. Stage number 2, he grabs. And I want you to react to number 1 already. So the second I feel that he's applying pressure and he's pushing toward me without actually grabbing, this is when I want you to bring your elbow up to shift a little bit out of the way so that you clear the way and you can strike here. Same thing happens on the other side. When I feel that he's applying pressure, I'm folding my arm over his, pushing it down a slightly little bit, and then I strike from the other side. As you get more accustomed to what's going on there, of course, he can intensify the speed, he can intensify the force, and then, of course, he can grab, close his fingers around your wrist quicker and quicker. So first we begin with clear 2 stages, and those are being molded into one big flow. So let's take a look at it. The same thing can be applied if he grabs from the top. Here, in this scenario, you twist your arm in a way that it allows your arm to escape from where your fingers or his fingers part. Right? So you don't want to go this way or that way because he's still strong, but there's a gap between the fingers and this is where you get out. We call this bong sao, the wing arm, and once we're free here, we're able to strike again. So once again, you do it slowly, and then you slowly increase the speed and also the intensity. And then you can add further techniques afterward. That's it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed the training, and grab a partner. Thank you so much for helping out. Grab a partner, practice this, and if you should like the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next week.